Like, we just gonna be honest.
But see,
I feel
y'all
like
act
swag.
like the MEAC is just Norfolk. Used to be Bethune and FAM in A&T. It's so
But
many. Was so it
no,
used to
no,
be a lot of schools.
y'all, nah,
They
y'all,
not
y'all, no,
recognizing those athletes.
y'all the East Coast Kings. Let's be honest. Like we still because of our generation. It's kind of like if your daddy call him Craig, I'm gonna call him Craig. It's like FAMU is MEAC, bro. Still, Bethune Cookman is still MEAC.
I
You dig what
agree.
I'm saying? Norfolk is MEAC. I'm about to say Atlanta A&T, North Carolina A&T. They still MEAC. Like that's just what it is, bro. Like so that's the generation we came up in. And so when you look at it, that side, in my opinion, still was the proverbial antithesis of ballads. Like you're
Why do
gonna
you
get
think that
a great
is?
shot.
Why do you think
Uh,
that is?
I think the culture that FAMU created, and then other band directors trickled amongst the East Coast. Like that was the standard, in my opinion. That was the standard, and you had the influence of high. The field show was king, and
I
then
don't. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish up, brother.
now I just feel that uh look at the similarities with Bethune Cookman and FAMU from the even the voice of the announcer. The the approach of marching, of course, is different, but when it comes to the drilling aspect, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it comes to the ballot, some of the formatting of the show is similar.
But I
You know,
think so. Two things. One, and I'm gonna start with the last thing that you just said. I think that's just a Florida thing anyway, because I don't really see much difference in that between when it comes to Florida Memorial. They're just a smaller
right?
version of it. So I think that's a Florida thing. I don't think that's a MEAC thing. But on top of that,
No,
just to
but
go, well, wait, let me finish. Let me
go
finish.
go
Just to go
go
back to the
go
other
ahead.
thing that you said, when you were saying how FAMU, the influence of FAMU, and it kind of trickled down, blah, blah, blah. But FAMU's influence trickled down to multiple places. I think that the thing is that when we start getting into back in the day when all bands had their own niche, I think that some people kept their traditional niche and some people just changed it. So when we start, because if you go back and you look at, heck, you could say old PV. Old PV used to play pretty decent ballads, but
But who's their influence?
that's what I'm saying. You're making it, you made it a MEAC thing. It's not a MEAC thing. I think that it was just a situation where people had traditional things that they were good for, and then somewhere in this whole marching band thing, people started getting away from what they were known for and started doing more things that were equivalent to everybody else to stay relevant. And I think that when it came to the FAMs and the Norfolks, and I would go so far as the Bethunes, they just decided to keep their traditional things. Whereas other people were like, nah, we gonna switch this up. Let's think about it. A&T ain't even the same A&T. Even though in my
Correct.
brain they still MEAC. So
Right. But so my point is this: the influence of Florida bands. Where did the band director come from? He came from FAM. So most of the band directors, when they create a school from scratch, they take what they know, right? From look at PV's uniforms to the intricators that we played, and then when other directors come in and influence from different places, we got there's a portion of our sequence that comes from Tennessee State. Then there's another portion that was created in Texas. And then there's another portion that was influenced by North Texas. People don't know that. So when you creating something, you can make your own gumbo, right? That's cool. When you look at Florida, Florida is Florida. But when schools such as at the time, um, it was more band directors from the South, like when Hampton and Howard were up and coming in those '90s. They were from the South, so they had more of a Southern s influence. What I'm just saying is, if you look at Bethune Cookman, you look at FAM, yes, they have a Florida style, but the MEAC was known to doing the ballad aspect. during that time of our era of marching and prior to. They was known for ballads. All right, bro.
The
I'm
thing,
telling you what we known from what we known them for.
right?
You talking about while we was in school?
Yeah, what we known them for. We know what I'm saying. The people in the South, we know FAMU for. I'm saying for sounding great, for having a distinct sound, but for ballads though. Like people wouldn't just playing slow songs like that at
No,
Southern
but I
University. Not like
also
that.
feel like, and this is my perspective, the schools that have color guard that will be featured on them is going to pay a little bit more attention to a ballad than those that are not.
Yeah,
that's a good,
I think that
very
has.
good point.
I think that has validity too. I think that has validity too.
But I get what you're saying a little bit, Quan. You're talking about optics from the perspective of a person in the South. It would almost seem as though the MEAC is where it's at when it comes to the ballots. Is that what you're saying? From
Yes,
your
like that was
perspective.
y'all niche. That was y'all niche. Like you were speaking about niches, like the East Coast to us in the South. Like, because we used to say y'all sound friendly or whatever. It wasn't friendly. It was just you had a distinct sound. So then you look at the South at the SWAC at that specific time. PV had sound like an aggressive. Some would say an aggressive FAMU at that time. But the way he arranged the different things of early PV when he first arrived in the '90s, man, that was fam. That was fam, right? Southern always had their distinct heavy brassy sound. Mississippi Valley didn't sound like really anyone. Jackson State had their own sound.
Valley used
Alcorn
to be
had
a
their
core
sound.
style band.
Exactly. Right. And then Tennessee State, they were a strong sounding band that had ties to FAMU. And then Texas Southern had their own specific sound. So I think with social media, we can all say, lines got blurred. But I also feel like the influence of seeing other bands and what they did, it was like, well, I'm gonna do this too.